It was a quiet afternoon on Fort Ridge Military Base, the kind of silence that makes every distant sound echo like a memory. The sun sat high over the training grounds, and the recruits were winding down from morning drills. But nobody knew that before sunset, the entire base would be locked down, not by enemies but by their own command. Private Jenna Carter was one of the youngest medics on the base, just 22, sharp-minded, respected, and known for never backing down from anyone, even ranking officers. That confidence made her stand out, and not everyone liked it. One of those people was Sergeant Miles Grant, a man with too many medals for too little discipline. He had been on edge all week after a failed training exercise that embarrassed his squad. And when he saw Jenna helping one of his men during drills, his temper snapped. Witnesses say it started with shouting, the kind that turns heads across the field. "You think you know better than a soldier," he yelled. Jenna didn't flinch. "If it's about saving one of your men's lives, yes, I do." That's when it happened. A single blow, quick, brutal, struck her across the head. She stumbled, blood at her temple, eyes full of disbelief. The field froze. Every soldier around stopped moving. The silence that followed wasn't confusion, it was fear. You could feel the air shift, as if the base itself knew something irreversible had just occurred. Jenna didn't fall. She straightened herself, looked him dead in the eye, and whispered, "You just made the biggest mistake of your career." 10 minutes later, she was gone, escorted quietly by 2 MPs toward the infirmary. Nobody knew what was happening behind those walls. Sergeant Grant was pulled aside but still in uniform, still barking orders, trying to pretend nothing had happened. But then, the unthinkable happened. At precisely 1400 hours, 3 black SUVs rolled through the main gate, escorted by military police. Out stepped 3 generals, the kind whose names rarely appear on rosters but whose presence stops time. The base commander looked like he'd seen a ghost. He saluted instantly. No one knew what was going on, but the rumor spread faster than radio chatter. Someone had made a call. And not just anyone, someone with power. The generals didn't go to the command office. They went straight to the training field, surrounded by MPs. Sergeant Grant was ordered to stand down immediately. His face drained of color when he saw who was there, General Olivia Harris, one of the highest-ranking officers in the medical corps. She wasn't there for protocol. She was there for Jenna Carter. The soldiers were told to remain in their quarters. Communications went silent. The base entered a lockdown. From the outside, it looked like a security drill, but those inside knew, this was punishment. Later, through whispers and quiet talks in the mess hall, pieces of the story began to surface. Jenna wasn't just a medic. She was part of a classified medical testing division, one that reported directly to the Pentagon. Her record wasn't just clean, it was heroic. She had saved dozens of lives overseas, including the son of a general. And that general, he was one of the 3 who walked through those gates. Within the hour, Sergeant Grant was escorted in cuffs, his face bruised, his rank stripped. The generals spent hours in closed meetings, while soldiers were ordered to remain silent. Files were pulled, security footage erased, and every witness debriefed under oath. That night, the base was as quiet as a tomb. No drills. No voices. Just the echo of one man's mistake changing everything. The next morning, a single memo went out, base operations suspended until further notice. But that wasn't the end of it. 2 weeks later, a reporter from a military insider outlet leaked fragments of what had happened. The story spread, female medic attacked by superior, protected by high command. It went viral within hours. Public response was explosive. For the first time in years, civilians and soldiers alike demanded reform for base-level accountability. The Pentagon didn't comment publicly, but deep inside the ranks, everyone knew what message the generals had sent: no one is untouchable. And Jenna, she didn't disappear into silence. She was reassigned, promoted to captain, leading an advanced combat medic unit overseas. Those who knew her said she carried herself differently now, quieter, stronger, like someone who had seen behind the curtain and lived to tell about it. One of her former teammates recalled years later, that day changed everything. It reminded us that the military isn't just about power, it's about principle. And she made the entire chain of command remember that. Rumor has it that even now, if you walk through Fort Ridge, which remains mostly inactive, the training ground still feels strange. The wind moves differently. And sometimes, late at night, guards claim they hear the echo of a woman's voice, steady and unafraid, saying the same words she did that day: "You just made the biggest mistake of your career." What really happened inside those meetings remains classified. Some say the generals made sure Grant never served again. Others believe he was reassigned under surveillance, a quiet warning to anyone who thought rank made them immune. One thing is certain: that base will never forget what happened. The day a medic stood up to authority, the day the chain of command turned its gaze inward, and the day 3 generals arrived and shut everything down, not because of an enemy attack, but because of honor. And sometimes, that's the most powerful kind of battle there is. Call to action. If stories like this fascinate you, real power, hidden truths, and the moments that change history, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the next story might be one they tried to erase, but we're bringing it back to light.